everybody, and welcome back to F.O.D. Shorts. This is the midweek podcast for the FM terrestrial radio show Freedom on Deck, heard on 94.9 News Now and Stimulating Talk, WJJF out of Connecticut, Long Island, and Rhode Island. I'm Chet Martin, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend C.V. Burton.
Hello.
Well, it's good to hear from you. You know, we didn't do the midweek last week. We've been missing weeks here, and we gotta really try to come through for the fans and get it out there.
Well, this one's a late week
yes.
podcast.
That's all right.
Instead of a midweek. All right, let's go. What do you got for me?
Well, listen, of course, we're going to be talking about Judge Kavanaugh's confirmation being sidelined by fake allegations. I will say fake because I don't believe this woman. It was hatched up by the left and pushed through by Dianne Feinstein. But really quick before we get into Judge Kavanaugh, CV.
Okay.
On our radio station, Mondays through Fridays, we have a morning guy by the name of Lee Elsey. He's got a fantastic show. He's the one that put our show on every week on Sundays.
Yep. The legend, the myth, the man.
Yes. The legend, the myth,
and the man.
He's a great guy. I've sat with the guy multiple times. We actually did a show with him on Long Island about 2 years ago. So I've sat and broken bread with this guy. Fantastic individual, stand-up champion for children, women, and animals of all sorts.
Uh-huh.
And this Wednesday, he put out a meme on his social media Facebook page.
Yeah.
And it shows a little 7-year-old boy going to pull the pigtails of what looks to be another 7-year-old girl in class.
Yeah, I saw
sitting at their desk, and it says another Kavanaugh accuser comes forward.
Right.
So he's making light of the fact that this nitwit, Christine Ford, came forward 36 years later after they were children. So Lee makes this funny joke about it. Everybody kind of gets a kick out of it. I didn't realize till the next day when he came on and he was talking about all these feminazis that went on his page and started to attack him. And basically were saying that he should be taken off the air. And it started with one woman, CV, and it turned into about 30 or 40.
Yeah.
They were all calling each other to go into his page and harass him for making a simple joke. They were saying he's a rape apologist.
Yeah.
He's part of the Republican Rape Country Club. All these negative, nasty things, which could be the furthest thing from the truth about this guy. For anybody listening to us that doesn't know who he is, he's also been nationally hosting for Wayne Allen Root as well. So some of you may have heard about him. But to see them come after this guy in that kind of way, and he was supposed to schedule a debate between Rep. Rick Scott and his opponent, Christine Connolly, who's running as a state rep in Connecticut. And she said that she will no longer go on his show because he is an apologist for Brett Kavanaugh.
See, they're using this. They're using this as a catalyst to do all kinds of things against conservatives when they would not normally do. What they would not normally do.
And for anyone that's ever listened to Lee Elsey in Connecticut or Long Island or Rhode Island, you know the guy's not an extreme right-winger. He's not even a huge Trump supporter. He supports Trump, but he has his issues with Trump. But it goes to show you these people now, they're going after all of us, and we have to come together. Right?
Yep.
We got to come together. I'm telling you, they'll attack.
If you're a conservative and you're outspoken and you feel strongly about the issues, this sort of thing is going to happen to you at some point, if not several times. Look at how many times they try to take Hannity off the air. Look how many times they try to take O'Reilly off the air until they finally succeeded. And it's going to happen. It's happened to me already. Just in my private life. They're not trying to take me off the air when I wasn't on the air yet. They were just trying to harass me and threaten me. Actually I had like a podcast a long time ago, but we don't want to get into that. But go ahead.
The thing is, this is happening throughout the country right now. They're using this, and Soros is funding it with Move On and all that. They're using this as a wrecking ball. A woman hatched in the middle of the night that waited 36 years after Brett Kavanaugh had been sworn in as a judge, had gone through all of his life accomplishments. She never came forward, but she came forward only 3 days prior to when they announced when the hearings would be to swear him in.
Yeah.
And, I've been looking at this case, and Christine Blasey Ford is now saying that she will testify, where previously she was saying she wouldn't on Monday, but now it supposedly says that she'll do it on Thursday in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee under her own special conditions. For one, she only wants to testify after Judge Kavanaugh does, and also demands that it not be under oath. And she's being represented by a lawyer on the dole of the George Soros Open Society, and her special advisor is a Democrat operative that worked under Clinton and Obama. So you telling me this doesn't stink to high hell, CV?
It stinks in every which way. It's totally phony. The Democrat Party has become the party of false accusations because they cannot argue or defend their stupid policies of higher taxes and no borders and no national security. Everything in their policy, all their policies are crap. They can't defend it. So they have to go around and falsely accuse people of collusion with Russia when they've been investigating that for 2 years and they've come up empty. And now they're trying to block this judge from being appointed. So it's like, all right, well, he didn't exactly rape me, but he laid on top of me and tried to take my clothes off until somebody else came in, and then we fell off the bed, and then I went in the bathroom, and there's no witnesses. She doesn't know what house it was in. She doesn't know the address. She doesn't know the year, and she has no corroboration, and she's just going to... This is what's going to take up all the oxygen out of the room? This kind of accusation that has no ground, no basis, no corroboration whatsoever. She's like, it's like Dianne Feinstein pulled this straight out of her ass.
And since when does the victim in a case get to demand to the terms when it comes to the Senate Judiciary Committee? Since when? Since now? Since
Grassley has no balls, that's since when.
Yeah, you're right about that. Subpoena her ass. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Subpoena her ass. And, she also wants to be questioned by certain senators. Basically, what they'll do is turn this into a political spectacle. She should be questioned only by special counsel, CV.
Yeah, and she should be prosecuted for trying to make a false report to the FBI. This is a false report. Nobody's going to tell me different. If this was true, how come there's no witnesses? How come nobody's come out about it in 36 years or 39 years?
There's two names that she wrote in the letter, and both of them say they don't know what she's talking about, that the party is basically non-existent, never happened.
Right.
And they questioned all these women, over 200 women that knew Brett Kavanaugh in college and in high school, and they're all like, even his high school sweetheart said, this is not the boy that I knew. He was not a blackout drunk. He was not a party animal. I mean, look at to the position. You think that's what he was and got to the position he's at in life? I don't think so. So, it's just completely false. And the crazy thing about Dr. Ford, and I use that term loosely because I think she's a nutcase, but she wiped out her social media accounts before the letter came out, before Feinstein released it. And the other one that was surprising was they have yearbooks now online. You can go and check out your yearbooks right on a certain social media page.
Oh,
you
great.
can get everybody's pick. Well, that's how it is nowadays.
Okay, well, I don't want mine in there.
Well, anyway, all of her yearbooks were scrubbed from the internet. They're gone. Yeah.
It's so fake. It's like right on the face of it. You can right out of the gate. It was fake.
It was fake right out of the gate, and we're laughing about it. But the sad part is this could derail this nominee. I mean, for God's sakes, what if this goes into the midterms, which it looks like it might, and that would be a bad thing because we need to resolve this thing real quick. The Republicans need to get on the ball. And even CNN, the wonderful communist news network, they had a panel of women that were sitting with, I can't think of her name right now, but it was one of the shows on CNN, one of the unwatched shows. More people are watching Nickelodeon than CNN nowadays.
Yeah.
But she asked 5 women on the panel whether they believed that Brett Kavanaugh committed this crime in high school, and they all said no. And the woman looked shocked, like she was upset that these 5 women would dare think that Brett Kavanaugh is a stand-up individual. But the fact of the matter is he has a squeaky clean past. There's nothing in his past that resembles what this woman is talking about.
He doesn't even have the physique to rape a woman. A woman would kick Kavanaugh's ass. Because
you're probably right.
You have to be a certain kind of person to be able to rape a woman without a gun or a knife. She didn't say there was a weapon. He doesn't look that strong to me to be able to. Besides which, what she described does not even sound like a crime. I mean, how many of us have gone to parties when we were in high school, had a couple of beers, and romped around a room with a girl or two? I mean, not even having sex, just rolling around. That's not rape, and that's not a crime.
No, and the fact of the matter is, if it happened, which I don't think it did anyway, I don't think this incident ever occurred. So let's say it did happen. And let's say he rolled around on the bed. That does not mean that everything that she's saying is truthful. That doesn't mean that he put his hand over her mouth, that he tried taking her clothes off.
Yeah.
In her mind's eye, she could believe it, but it could be totally false. And also, the reason I don't believe it is because she is an extreme leftist, vagina hat wearing liberal, and they have pictures of her at anti-Trump rallies. So you're telling me this is what they want us to believe. They want us to believe that this woman who's an extreme leftist, who hates Donald Trump, sat on this letter for 36 years, and then 2 years under President Trump continued to sit on it, even when he announced Brett Kavanaugh's appointment as his pick, and sat on it again for another 3 to 4 months. And now she released it on the week that he was going to get confirmed. Give me a break.
I know. And Gillibrand was out there saying that this Ford, Dr. Ford, they're calling her now, expressed the desire to try to prevent Trump's appointees to the federal bench.
Yeah, but then also Christine Gillibrand, on the other hand, said, "How dare we not believe Dr. Ford?"
Oh, come here, break with that not believe crap.
So you can't exactly. You can't even have the discussion anymore. So there's no proof. There's nothing. You can't go back to the scene of the crime if there was one. You can't do it. She can't remember anything. There's no one to corroborate what happened to her, but we're supposed to believe her.
And
show me something different. When she testifies in front of the Senate, and it better not be in a closed room, or I will blame the Republicans.
Yeah.
She better testify in front of the world to us, the American people, and tell us exactly what happened in her mind. And if she's lying, it'll show.
And I would like to ask Gillibrand or Gillibrand, I don't know what it is with these names. These Democrats have names that could be pronounced 2 different ways. Are they trying to do that just to create chaos? I mean, you have Mueller, or is it Mueller? Is it Strzok, or is it Stroke? Is Rosenstein, or is it Rosenstein? Nobody knows. But anyway, this Gillibrand, I would like to ask her, how dare you tell me what I'm allowed to believe and what I'm not allowed to believe? I could believe whatever I want, and I could feel any way I want, and screw you. And women are not a sacred cow that you can't touch. There are just as many bad women as there are bad men. And I also resent the fact that they're trying to stigmatize white old Republicans.
Yeah.
Should not question her. Why not?
Did you see the painting that the wonderfully talented Canadian Canuck Jim Carrey put out, which depicts Brett Kavanaugh pulling the clothes off of Dr. Ford when they were young, and another boy watching the door so nobody comes, and it says on the caption, "Republicans always protect their own."
Oh God, I cannot stand him.
We're the rapists. We're the rapists.
I'm banning him from my TV set as much as I'm banning that other guy. I can't remember. The guy who says fuck Trump. What's his name? I already forgot his name already.
You're talking about Robert De Niro.
Yeah, Robert De Niro. Isn't that funny? He's so famous, and I even forgot his name because that's how little he means to me.
Robert the Queero. And then the Republicans, I got to tell you, they're a bunch of pussies. You had the protesters showing up at Senator Grassley's office, and they let them in and allowed them to eat lunch there. Did you see this? They were protesting.
Oh,
they were protesting the pick of Kavanaugh, and they show up with like 12 pizzas, and they show up with Heroes and Coca-Cola,
and a free,
you name it,
and a free wet bar.
It's like, come on, get these guys arrested. What are you doing? So Chuck Grassley, or the great Republican senator, needs to grow a pair.
I know.
These people are such pussies.
And go ahead.
Let's not even go back to the hearing that they had where they let these insane women into the hearings, because I'll tell you this like this, CV. They tried everything in the kitchen sink to throw at this guy to see what would stick to the wall. Nothing did, and this is their last-ditch effort to keep him from being a lifetime appointee under President Trump.
And the only one playing doctor in this scenario is Ford, because she's not a real doctor. All right.
Right. What is she, like a chiropractor?
All right, I was reaching there.
Oh, you are kind of right. She's I believe she's a psychiatrist.
She's got a PhD out of a Cracker Jacks box.
Get a PhD, don't.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. She doesn't remember the year, but she remembers that she was 15.
She can't even do the math. She's not that old that she can't minus 15 from the age that she is now and determine the year. But whatever.
And then you had Joy Behar from The View coming on TV and talking about we the conservatives getting behind a probably guilty, this is her statement, a probably guilty Judge Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Based on what? You see, this is the thing. If you repeat a lie enough, it becomes the truth. And the American people start to believe it. I was going through Facebook and Twitter just for shits and giggles and going on to CNN and MSNBC and seeing what they had to say about Brett Kavanaugh. And the people out there have already proclaimed that he's guilty, TV. The mind-dead liberals already, there's no due process. He's guilty by just her saying it.
But it was always the left wing in Hollywood and the entertainment business, and that their whole culture is all about, hey, if it feels good, do it, and free love, free sex, anything goes. You can be married to the same sex. You can be having orgies. You can have a lover on the side, but as soon as a conservative that they want to destroy holds a door open for a woman just to be nice, you're a sexual harasser. You are a misogynist. It's war on women, and it's what that's what scares me the most. It's the cultural reverberations from this that concern me the most. Where if you're a young kid and you're in a party and you're having a beer, you don't try to make out with a girl or anything, because 20 years from now, if you try to run for office as a Republican, they're going to call you a rapist.
Well, I worry about my kids. I have 3 boys. I have all boys, and I look at it, and I feel like telling them, you can't go out when you're in high school. You can't go have a good time because some girl will end up saying that you tried to rape them when you didn't. Because we're becoming this, it's becoming ingrained into the young women in our society, and I don't necessarily think it's their fault. I think it's the push by the communist agenda in the universities and in the high schools that put this and ingrain it into their thinking that men are out there to rape them and attack them, when that's just not true. You know, and people got on a tinge. These liberals got so fired up because President Trump today came out on Twitter and he pushed back against this accuser and said, show us the report that was made. Show us the evidence that Judge Kavanaugh made this. I'm sure that you or your wonderful, loving parents can do that. And everyone's like, oh, look, he's sticking up for the accused rapist. Mm-hmm. The guy never – listen, he's sticking up for his pick because he knows that the story's bullshit. Yeah. And I stand with President Trump on that. I'm glad he's fighting for his pick. If he didn't, he would be another pussy Republican, and he's not. Thank God.
No, he's a totally different animal that nobody knows how to handle. They don't even know how to fight him, the Democrats.
And you know what? I don't need to hear from Hillary Clinton about this. I don't really need to hear from Hillary Clinton on Rachel Madcow talking about the fact that we should believe Dr. Ford, because where was Hillary Clinton when Juanita Broderick, when Jennifer Flowers, when Monica Lewinsky, when Paula Jones, when all these women, including that black woman that had the love child with Bill Clinton, where was Hillary Clinton then?
Wait,
she's threatening them.
You know what it is? We don't have to hear from Hillary Clinton because she has incontinence. So we could smell her coming a mile away and then run away from her and then not have to hear her.
That's true. That's sulfur.
Yeah.
That piss, urine, and the urine, farts, and cabbage smell that she has.
Whatever it is, the flies are attracted to it. They're attracted to Obama. There's something inherently evil about these people. And it's just coming out how much dirt, how much scandal is beneath it all. But we can get to that later.
Well, we're coming up on the half-hour mark here, so I want to fit in at least one of the other stories that we were going to talk about. And I want to talk about the Deputy Attorney General, Rat Rosenstein.
Okay.
He wants
Rosenstein.
Rodenstein. I call him Rat Rodenstein.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a little rat.
Yeah.
But he suggested at one time that they should record Trump to Robert Mueller, and that they should remove President Trump via the 25th Amendment. Sources familiar with these memos of the former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe tell ABC News that according to those memos during a conversation in May between McCabe and Deputy AG Rat Rodenstein suggested that McCabe or others wear a wire when speaking with the President Trump, which is illegal.
Yep.
And which is treasonous, punishable by death. Sorry to say it, but it's true.
Well, yeah, but for you, like jaywalking when you're trying to make a right turn is punishable by death.
Right.
All right, go ahead. I'm just joking. I'm just busting your
chops. You're right. No, you're right. And the thing is, this is a coup that's going on in the White House. This is a coup. If you can't see the writing on the wall, then you're blind, or you're just so entrenched with leftism that you just can't see the truth for what it is.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, in this investigation, Robert Mueller has neither found any evidence that Trump colluded with Russia for the election or that Trump had any Russian cohorts that worked on his side. None of that's been proven. The only thing that they've been able to prove is some bull crap stuff that they got to put on Manafort and also Mike Flynn.
Yeah.
And yes, Trump had a lawyer that turned on him. He's a scumbag. That's going to happen along the way, unfortunately, when somebody like Robert Mueller is going through with an investigation like this. Because you know damn well they're threatening these guys.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what's happening here. But when you got a deputy attorney general like this and another attorney general like the Weasel Sessions, that's making basically very derogatory statements about the president, they got to be fired, first of all. And then if this is true about Rodenstein, they got to bring him up on charges of treason, in my opinion.
Well, we don't get into the weeds on this. If our listeners want that, they can always go to Dan Bongino or somebody like that. But in a macro sense, they really just tried to frame Donald Trump, and this thing smells a little fishy to me. That they're blaming Rosenstein for suggesting spying on Trump. They were already spying on Trump before he was even elected, and they had little to no justification. They were using a fake dossier to try to get FISA warrants to spy on him. So they were already spying on him. It just seems to me that they're trying to scapegoat Rosenstein when the direct order came down from Barack O'Jarrett. Barack Obama and his cohort, Valerie Jarrett. They're like a team. She's a little smarter than him, and she's sort of like pulls his strings. But he signs. It's his signature on the paper, and it's his name on the plaque on his desk and on the door. So but she's the chief advisor. She's an Iranian. She's a socialist, and those two work together, and they still work together. She has an office in his house, a couple of blocks away from the White House. They haven't gone away, and they're still trying to remove Donald Trump from office.
Well, Rodenstein, and I'll continue to call him that, is not a good guy. We know that. He's a dirtbag. You're right. President Obama was the first one that came up with the FISA courts to spy on President Trump.
Yep.
But these claims are when Trump was in office and Trump became the president, and that Rodenstein had made these remarks to Andrew McCabe, and that there are memos on this. I don't know if there's any tapes on it. If there are any tapes on it, then it shows that he did this. Then he can be prosecuted.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that he did it. I'm just casting doubt on the assertion that it was all his idea.
Well, it's a deep state's idea. I mean, it's all a deep state. They're all one and the same.
Yeah, the order was handed down from the chief operator of the deep state, who was the former president of the United States.
But it's interesting to see that he suggested this, or that this was suggested by someone, and then Omarosa actually went through with bringing a wiretap into the White House.
See, I don't even believe that either, and I don't believe Cohen wiretapped Donald Trump. Nobody wiretaps anymore. They're using these people they're getting the information, they're getting these phone calls and these tapes from the NSA, because they're taping everybody. They're taping you through your phone. They're taping you through Alexa, that little device. Yeah. I was asking Alexa today. I said, Alexa, is the NSA recording everything in this house through this device right now? She goes, I cannot answer that. I said, is Amazon working with Alexa and the NSA? She goes, your privacy is of high importance. If you want to go over the privacy policies, please check our website, whatever.
You're right.
And she would not answer the question directly.
She sounds like a good Democrat.
I know. And then earlier today, I was driving up to McDonald's, and I saw a black helicopter. I know. You're gonna think I'm one of those crazies, but I swear to God, I was staring at it, and it was flying low. And it was all black, and there was no markings on it. I said, see, this is the kind of thing that nobody believes. If I tell them this, they wouldn't believe it.
Uh-huh. No, I believe you. You think that I don't believe in conspiracy and crazy stories, CV? I believe in Bigfoot, my brother. So there's a lot of things.
I believe in Bigfoot too.
I believe there was a dozen shooters in Vegas. That I believe. I go down the rabbit hole.
That's where I part company with you on that one. But that's okay.
I agree with what you say about the reason that Paddock was involved, but I think there was more people involved, and I think it kind of gets messy. But that's for another time.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, boy, Vegas went cold, and then this compound in New Mexico. Have you heard anything about this compound in New Mexico anymore?
I don't know. All I know is I just want Donald Trump to dismantle I want him to drain the swamp, because our society, because of Obama, has sunk to such a dystopian, upside down Twilight Zone reality that is far worse than anything Orwell ever wrote about. I mean,
right.
they're listening in everything we say. They're storing this information for some future time when they should want to destroy us. And I don't know, man. I'm just freaked out by it all. I just don't like the idea that everything we're doing is being watched and recorded.
Well, I think when people say we're living in Orwellian times,
yeah,
I don't think George Orwell could have ever even imagined what's going on today.
What he imagined was like the TV was watching you when you're in your room. He had no idea that they were going to watch you, know exactly where you're going. Your phone has a GPS in it. Everybody's attached to their phones. And that's a scary thing, is that the phones are so addictive that nobody can put them down. And everybody I see has the headphones on, and they're looking at this little device, and they carry it with them wherever they go. And it's their prized possession, but it's the very thing that's linking them to the intelligence community that's storing it all. And they make lists out of it. Believe me, they're making lists. They know who are the conservatives, who are the Trump supporters, and who are not. So if
you're right. And
if the banking industry wants to beat up on people, who are the first people they're going to beat up on? They're going to beat up on Trump supporters.
No, you're right, and I'm as guilty as anyone for going on my phone all day. And I do it mainly with FreedomOnDeck.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I have to in order to keep people engaged. We're picking up a lot of followers, so I don't want that trend to stop.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's these devices that people cannot live without. If you took somebody's phone from them, the average American, if you took their phone from them for 2 days, they would go insane.
I know. Sometimes I leave my phone in another room, and just try to maybe just take a walk, get outside, get a breath of fresh air. I mean, it's like to be plugged in like an umbilical cord to some network. It's just freaking me out lately.
Well, that's good for you. I mean, I wish I could do that more often. I wish my kids could do that more often.
I know. I told you kids. I said, you guys,
I know.
you need to play guitar and start a rock band. I told them that.
They're doing soccer now, and then they have baseball coming up. So
that's good.
They're getting involved. They're getting out there. So I'm not going to get into the last topic because we just don't have any time. But what do you see coming this week with these hearings into Dr. Ford and Judge Kavanaugh?
I don't know what to. I don't know what to expect, except I just wish the GOP would grow some balls and bring the guy to a vote already.
I agree. I hope he does get confirmed. I don't know that he will be.
Yeah.
Because I think that this is if this leads into the midterms, then I hate to say it, but he's got to step aside and Trump's got to make another pick.
Yeah, and some Democrats are already saying, I'm not going to vote for him because of this accusation, this phony accusation, because they're not listening to her and she should be heard. So they're already using it as an excuse not to vote for him just on this alone.
None of them are going to vote for him, but the worry is that, Jeff Flake, well, thank God we don't have to worry about McCain anymore. And I don't mean that to sound like, thank God he's dead. I'm just saying, thank God he can't come in and put the thumbs down. But you got to worry about Jeff Flake, and you got to worry about all the other turds in the swimming pool, whether they're going to put a kibosh to this whole thing. So we'll find out. I think what we're going to find out with these hearings is that Judge Kavanaugh is a very honest guy. I think he's telling the truth. And if we get to see this woman up on the stand, because all we have is one blurry picture of her on social media, kind of like Bigfoot, we'll find out that she's lying. And I think that Judge Kavanaugh would be vindicated if things are done the proper way. But she should not be able to make the rules in order for these hearings. That is insane.
I also predict that there's going to be more accusers coming forward with equally unverified tales.
You could be right. That'll be a shit show, that's for sure.
That's what they do. That's what they're good at, churning out false accusers. That's the Democrat Party today.
Well, everybody, listen to us on Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on 949newsnow.com. You can also check out all our podcasts and our archives on FreedomOnDeck.com. And right at Freedom on Deck, you can find out where you can get the links for the show as it occurs live on Sunday. And you can get all of our other good stuff there, too, our Facebook links, our Twitter links, our BitChute links, our YouTube links, you name it. It's all there for you. Well, all right, CV, it was another good midweek podcast with you, brother.
It went really fast.
It did. And I'll be seeing you Sunday.
All right. I'll be there, man. Thank you.
All right, brother. Take care.